Okay, GGBC listeners, something a little different today. I can't remember whose mastermind. It might have been yours, Dec.
Probably.
But the name has come from producer Rob.
Yes.
It's the Groves Frochalong.
Yeah, let me just, bit of context.
Yep.
It was just called Frochalong until you got wind of it.
Yeah.
And you went, hold on a second. I was involved in that fight. Now, what we're going to be frotching along, Groves frotching along,
yes,
is your first fight with Carl Froch, which, George, believe it or not, 10 years old today. Can you believe it?
Yes, 10 years.
How old does it make you feel? I mean, 10 years
10 years older.
Yeah.
10 years older. A lot has happened in that 10 years. And, I mean, would I have thought I'd be sitting on this sofa next to you, Dec? Probably. Did I think, you know...
I mean, did you think you'd win a world title?
Yeah.
I knew that was the answer.
Yeah. Well, I thought I would have been a world champion 10 years ago, but I wasn't. But
maybe you should have been.
Well, spoilers alert. I don't know. Is anyone watching today who hasn't seen the Groves Frochalong? Have you not seen my first fight with Carl Froch, which was at the Manchester Arena?
Yeah. I was there.
10 years ago. Was you there?
I was there.
I was there.
Yeah. Do you know what? This is the second time ever in my career as a journalist that I stood up in my seat. First one was when Joshua got the decision against Camarelli to win the gold in London.
Why'd you stand at that time?
Because I was just so excited.
Oh, yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, sat on a pin. And when you drop Froch, again, spoiler alert, when you drop Froch in the first round...
You're ruining it, man.
Sorry, but that comes pretty quick. I was up. I was like, what have I just seen? What have I witnessed here? One of the most thrilling fights I've ever seen in my life. You were involved in it, obviously, deeply. Couple bits of housekeeping, though. If you're watching on YouTube...
Yep.
Happy days. Like, you're going to watch this now. You can just see it all. Very kindly, Matchroom, via Frank Smith, who's in the club, of course. ECM Frank Smith have allowed us to use this footage with credit to them and credit to Sky Sports. So thank you for that. You're going to get the whole fight, every single cough and splutter, punch and slip. If you're listening audio version, happy days. You're going to hear what George has to say as we watch this fight in its entirety. And you can always go and watch the video later. Right. So we're going to watch this whole thing, George. Have you watched this? I've
never seen it.
No, yeah, you had your eyes closed. Well, you didn't though.
I've lived it, but I've never seen it.
Well, we wrestled with this. Should we go and watch it before we do this to try and, get a bit of a flavour of it so we know what we're talking about? We decided, no, let's watch it fresh-ish. I haven't watched this for years. One of my all-time favourite fights, thriller. And I want to hear what you have to say blow by blow.
Thanks,
should we get into that?
Let's get into it.
Remember, if you listen on audio and you want to see the footage, it's all here on the Boxing News YouTube channel on this video. So let's get into it. We're in business, George.
Yep.
Now, of course, you're in the ring at this point. Just while you're doing your peacocking around, I thought you were always a really good peacocker.
Thanks.
You were good at that, weren't you? You knew what you were doing. That ring walk for you, pretty hairy one, wasn't it? People try. You hated at this point, really?
I think so. I think it's
you were the bad guy.
I was hated.
Yeah.
Bad guy, villain, pantomime villain to a certain extent. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I was entirely prepared for that. I thought there might be a little bit of a split of the crowd. There might be a few people on my side, and lots of people have told me they were and that they were there, but they were drowned out by the echo of Froch supporters that were booing me vehemently.
Look at Luke Watkins in the background there. People missed that.
So we got the Duke.
Luke the Duke from Swindon cruiserweight, former English cruiserweight champion. He's in the background. He was like your security, wasn't he? Because he was Paddy's boy. Paddy's
lad. He was an amateur boxer at the time, but obviously a cruiserweight, big lump.
And this was your first fight with Paddy, wasn't it? After the acrimonious split with Adam Booth. Pretty close to that fight as well.
Yeah, like we started 10 weeks out. I think it was 10 weeks out. Whenever the press conference was to announce the fight, I hadn't even had a conversation with Paddy about training me. So Froch is here in the corner and I'm trying to size him up. I'm looking at him. I'm saying, this face don't look so confident. He don't look so mean. I'm not sure how comfortable he quite is at this point. And, we haven't seen is that he dives in the ring. He's got a big entourage this time and loads of experience in that corner. Rob McCracken, Tony Sims, Mark Seltz doing the cuts, I think. But his brother's in there, his best mate, and a bunch of others I've never seen before. There are a couple of lumps. I've got Luke the Duke, but You know, he's yet to have his professional debut. I've got the hardest man on the planet, Tom Ash, in my corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't even got to say any more apart from the hardest man on the planet. When you're watching it, you would know. Paddy, and Paddy used to call Barry O'Connell the father because I think he looked a little bit like a priest.
Did he?
Yeah, the father.
But you can see here from the wider shots that like it's a cast of thousands in Froch's corner, and then it's just kind of you. Yeah. And that was the story of this fight, wasn't it? And certainly when the second fight came around, it was all that. It was George, the sort of Lone Ranger against the establishment. Did you feel like that?
Yeah, I really felt like it at that point. I just felt like I had no friends.
What you seeing in his eyes there? An opportunity.
I'm just like I don't know if I was looking for anything in the eyes. I think at that point I'm like, oh, don't be pumped that he looks weak or sad that he don't. Just get out there and get the job done. Those who know, I was standing southpaw before the first bell.
Famously.
Well, randomly. We should do it when you was an amateur and you go abroad and you didn't know who you were fighting. It's a southpaw. He's orthodox.
What are you feeling like now? Because I've got butterflies in my stomach at this point. Like as in right now, watching this back. How are you feeling now? You're chilled.
In the zone. I've got to start sharp.
Yeah.
Like, I want.
And you promised us. Just tell us what you promised us in that press conference before this fight.
So I said I'm going to come out and take the centre of the ring.
There we go. Check.
I'm going to win the jab exchange.
Check.
And I'm going to hit him with 2 right hands. It might not have been quite as clear and concise as that, but they're the major parts I wanted to get, over the line.
How important is it at this point for you to be making an impression? Like, are you thinking I need to let him know that I'm here, I'm serious, and also like the crowd and stuff, or do you not even care? You're just trying to set him up for that cross.
I think usually I'm not too inclined to land a heavy shot on the guy in front of me, put some real lever on him. But in this fight, I am trying to dig him with something hard in that first round. I mean, I've already not stuck to the game plan because the idea was that I told him I was only going to throw two right hands, and that would be very typical of most of my fights. What Froch wouldn't have thought was typical is that I come out and try and boss it off the centre of the ring and back him up. And Froch is sort of a bit of an underrated boxer as such because his go-to safe move is to maul and brawl, but he's actually quite difficult at long range. His arms are deceptively long.
Good jab.
The jab's there's not a lot of variety to it, but he throws it out long, and because he's so willing to punch off of it, you have to be cautious of that, be wary of that, and it's a danger, especially for a fighter who fights with a low left hand,
And you sparred him, of course, before, so you sort of, it's not uncharted territory for either of you here.
No. So we've done rounds before, and
there's one of your right hands.
So yeah, that's got to be the best right hand so far, and there's that feeling of.
Did he land there?
Yeah, he might. It's a real fight. I mean, you're excited, you're pumped from the get-go in this fight, and like even here, like he's having success. He lands a couple of jabs because I say he's got that long lever. You try not to give away any free shots at the start, but I'm trying to give him variety with the jab, going head and body, and I want to get that right hand off. Like I want to feel the power, really.
You comfy at this point? You're thinking, yeah, okay, I'm happy with this round so far? Or are you thinking
absolutely.
I need to do something?
So there's a right hand that goes in there. There's about 30 seconds left of the round. And he clips him, and I've talked through it, but there we go. He hits the deck.
Big right hand. At this point, are you thinking, right, he's done, or are you like, oh my God, I didn't expect that to happen?
I'm not...
Surprised?
No, but at the same time, not like, this fight's over. I'm just thinking, land something heavy on him again before the bell goes.
You did. You got a couple there.
I got 2, 1 on the bell. He will tell you it's after the bell.
So you buzzing when you sit, like, as you're not, he's buzzed, but are you buzzing? You like, that is job done, couldn't have gone better first round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't have gone better first round. Not job done like the fight's over, but how about that? I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of him in the next round. I'm thinking he went down heavy. He gets up because he's strong. Yeah, so I catch him with this right hand, and he does sort of like a little skip round. And you can see in the replay.
You see me standing up in the background, probably.
Have you got a Froch t-shirt on there? He's
on unsteady legs as well.
Yeah, I mean he jumps straight up, And it's quicker than when he gets up off the floor against Jermaine Taylor. It's on the button. It's a peach of a right hand. Yeah. I mean, it's not. In some ways, technically, it could have been a bit better. I'm sort of travelling back at that point, and I row it over rather than fire it straight from the hip. But I start this next round. Look, I'm now pressuring him.
Smelling blood.
I want him to drown with anxiety. Like, now I'm pressing him with that sharp front foot, trying create an opening with that lead with the left hand with the jab. Going head and body, and I want him to punch because that's when he's going to leave me the openings. At this point, I'm letting him move around to his left. His lead hand's low, and I'm thinking, when's this next right hand going to detonate?
And in the arena across the country, it's dawning on people. Many people have called this a mismatch, and people are going, "Oh my God, I got this bang wrong." George Groves is all over him here.
You think, yeah?
100%. That's the feeling that's sort of settling across the country at this point. And people are going, how did I not see this coming? And then the second round, you've spoken before, obviously we had Carl he's in the club, but punching him numb. Because at this point, you're just trying to time him. You were quite cautious, the wrong word, but calculating it. You're not just jumping all over him and swarming him.
No, because I don't think the fight's over yet. Do you know what I mean? He's still dangerous and he's boxing well enough. He's got long limbs. Like, you don't want to give away any free shots. I've got that style where it's sort of a reactive style. But then when I'm in range, I'm happy to let 3s and 4s go, like I sort of do there. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes I've got to push it a bit. But this is what Carl's dangerous at. He just hits the back leg, you want to bite down the gum chip, let your hands go. And I know I don't want to give away free shots. And what we drilled in camp with Paddy was don't compete with him on the inside because he's too wild and reckless and he punches when essentially he's got no right to punch. And, I wasn't the smartest and neatest inside fighter. So when you get close, just hold him. Just hold him, he can't work. Get your head safe. So here I've got, I'm tucking him up, I'm doing it clever. That time it was on Howard Foster's side, but sometimes you take it. I wouldn't necessarily hold the arm, but I'd pin the arm so that he couldn't punch.
Still giving that variety to the body with a jab. At this point, so Carl, obviously his head's sort of clear now from the knockdown. So you just settled then again, thinking, right, okay, I can box him. Another opportunity's coming. Yeah,
it still feels really intense. It still feels like 100 miles an hour. You're only 2 rounds into this mega fight, and the whole time I'm thinking Froch is dangerous. Froch is dangerous. So it's not go for broke, shit or bust.
Yeah.
It's more like, come on, keep boxing, keep the pressure on. The pressure's got to be on with the sharp movements. Keep him anxious, and then try and force him into making another mistake.
Yeah, anything he does, the crowd are going out. Right, that's the end of the second round. 2 rounds in, 2-0 George Groves with a knockdown.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he had some good work in that round, second, but
Can you remember what Paddy's saying to you at this point, in between the second and the third round? What's the message?
No, I think it was all positive, all encouraging. There was no urgency from him. I think it's just like at this point you want to keep your fighter calm. So I think so far so good. I land a couple of right hands. There's a good exchange there for me. But he takes them shots well.
He does, doesn't he?
He just takes them full force.
It's like Joe Joyce style there. At this point, had he hit you with anything? Had you been buzzed at all? Had your bell rung at this point, 2 rounds in?
No,
you're feeling fresh as a daisy, safe.
Feeling safe, feeling good.
Start of the third round here then. Out you come, low left hand, low lead hand, famously.
And Froch the same.
Yeah.
So I'm stalking him and I'm moving around to my right, which not a lot of orthodox fighters do, but Bernard Hopkins used to do it so well. And then once I prepared for James DeGale as a southpaw, started doing this thing where I would coast round to my right, but always just that right leg loaded. Thinking about detonating that right hand. Now, I'd imagine at this point I'm thinking, right, he got a pass on that second round. You didn't hurt him like you did in the first. Let's put some meat on a right hand that's gonna panic him, that's gonna hurt him. So I'm creeping around to my right, looking for that right hand. There, it's short. It's too short there, but I'm still super sharp. Exaggerated movements. That was, it looks really good in terms of the way I broke out and off the line there. But
talk to us about that jab as well. Famous George Groves jab.
Yeah, the jab worked really well that night, and there's like a lot of exchanges, a lot of jab exchanges. Like Froch has got that long, and it's sort of sharp, and it comes from low like mine, so it's got time to accelerate. It's got further to travel, but you accelerate with a low left hand. Starts outside of the peripheral vision.
Oh, it's a big left hook there and a right hand to follow it up. Every one he seems to feel it, doesn't he?
Well, I'd imagine at this point, like just who I am, if I'm willing to sort of slip out to the lead leg and come back with a left hook, I'm feeling good. Like I'm sort of starting to get in the zone, and this is what I want from him. Bizarrely, I don't want it, and I do want it. I want him to punch,
it's squaring up as well. Yeah.
But I know he's dangerous as well, and I know these are eye-catching shots for him. So I don't want him to bum rush me at one point and nick the round because he's just being busy. But this was something there. So I finished the exchange with a left hook. So I finished the exchange. It was something that me and Paddy worked on a lot in camp. It was like, he's going to come together and he's going to throw a lot of shots. Don't just break out low and be safe. Finish the exchange. It looks like you're boss in the fight. Right hand landed there. I mean, Froch took it well. It didn't land clean, just on top of the ear. But you're just thinking these are all accumulative shots.
What was it like up close there? Is he strong? He always seemed like a strong man.
Yeah,
feel like you outmuscled him in that when it got
physically
close.
Strong guy, but I think a lot of people will be shocked. I'm a strong guy too. I get stronger throughout my career. Like I'm much stronger by the end of my career than I am here. But it's just trying to stick to the plan, stick to the discipline. I say, if you get close, don't be worried about coming tight. That's the end of the third then.
End of the third. So talk us about fatigue levels at this point. So you're 3 in, so you're quarter of the way through. Pretty high octane fight so far. You've had a real moment of excitement. All action fight. How knackered are you feeling?
I think I'm feeling good. At this point, I'm feeling good because we're only 3 in, so you're almost like fully warmed up.
Yeah.
You do your absolute best to warm up in its entirety in the changing room, but sometimes it takes a round, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to warm up. And I think, in terms of some of the technical stuff I'm doing in this third round, I feel nice and warm. Like I'm already, my brain is fully engaged and awake. Froch is still dangerous, but it doesn't feel like the shots have been effort. I'm not muscling out my shots. I've been caught with anything I've had to respond to immediately. And also I'm buzzing because I think I'm bossing this. I think I'm 3 rounds up, and I think Froch is, he's in bad shape. So that's like almost not the second wind, but as good as, where it just keeps you flying high. Your sails are full of wind.
Start of round 4 then. You're back out in business. What are you thinking score wise here? 2-0, 2-1.
Yeah,
I mean, that was an even round again.
Thinking scores, but yeah, and I don't like to ask the corner, what do you think? So I think it shows weakness, or if it shows like you're a bit worried.
There's not a lot in the rounds, and although it does, you're at the behest of the editor with this, but all the replays we're seeing here between rounds are you landing clean on Froch. He's not really getting anything off at this point, is he?
No, he's not really.
There's barely a mark on you, a bit of marking under the left eye there that they're working on in the break there. But fresh as a daisy it seems. Hands high left hand there, so you're starting to close the distance with your hands up. What was the thinking?
So I used to, once I got settled and comfortable, and I wanted to pressure someone on the front foot almost, not getting your weight stuck on the front foot, but creeping forward with the weight on the back leg, I'd keep a higher left hand. Try and do that like I'm doing now with a low left hand. You're just sharp shooting, so you're trying to engage something to fire something really explosive back. But off that high hand position, it's much more, there's lateral movement, a bit of side off there, and then you punch off of it. And here, I just, I let him get himself tangled up. His arm comes in, I stay in tight. I've got it covered with the left side, left hand's up, and I'm just punching off it a little bit. Trying to create frustration as well, Dec, to be honest. At this point, I want him, when we get close, him thinking, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's where I could be landing, because Froch, to his credit, he's got a good engine, so he will punch, you know, when he's out of position, he's tight, and he'll hit you with them shots that you can only generate from your arms. So they're energy taxing.
Pattern to the fight as well. So it's like you predicted in the press conference that you're holding centre ring. He's sort of circling constantly and then trying to open up an opportunity with his jab and then looking for something behind it. Did you anticipate it being that cut and dry, the pattern being like this, and that you would be able to dictate it like you are?
Yeah, I think so. I think fighting off the centre of the ring is not comfortable for Froch. So he needs to back you up, have you out of your legs so that you can't punch. But this fourth round is cleaner in my favour, I think, than the previous two. Starting to really find a home for the right hand. Froch's pace has slowed a touch, and now he has to respond with effort.
Little shot on the inside there, cheeky one.
Howard, he's saying, "Look, I'm on your side, mate, but I can't."
Yeah, come on, mate. I said ninth round on Facebook.
I don't. Oh, no. Right, here he is. Right, back in.
But straight back into business, and yeah, that's it. So that's the end of fourth. Well, a nice little chat there.
Little smile at Carl there. I can't remember if he said anything first or not.
You think at this point you were detecting that he's pissed off and that you're frustrating him?
Panic. He's got to be panic. I think he wasn't mentally prepared for this. I knew he wouldn't be mentally prepared from the engagements we had beforehand. I was thinking, I'm just thinking about myself, thinking, do I want to be in a real fight right now if I'm not mentally switched on for it? So that little smile was just to say,
I told you. So again, the replays of all George Grove's work. There's a little right hand there. But we know with Carl, because we saw it against Lucien Bute and other fights, he likes to square up and just let his hands go there and like bite down and just. But you're not giving that opportunity really. He's looking for it. He's looking for the opening, but it's never really coming.
No, and I'm catching him at long range. I mean, I've lost my legs.
Combination.
I've lost my legs for that combo, but it's still effective.
Round 5, already bouncing, already up, straight back into business centre ring.
So round 4 was probably, apart from the first, was probably my best round so far. So let's see. We couldn't hear what was said in Froch's corner, but they likely said you need to get a move on now.
Yeah, they must be feeling it. Oh shit, he's behind, and you seem to be getting better, based on what you did in the fourth round.
Yeah, well, Rob McCracken's character is he's very laid back, doesn't panic. And he's had sticky moments with Froch before, and Froch sort of pulled it out of the bag. So I'm sure he's trying to, boost his man up, but there's no real anxiety in the corner because he knows he's sitting with a tough man. What he doesn't want him is to get stopped. So that's a good effort there from Froch. He's always dangerous because he's a gunslinger. It's a western at times. He's punching from the hips, and I've got to have my wits about me, and I don't want to give away any free shots. But back to it, centre of the ring, trying to boss him now, control him with the jab.
At what point are you thinking? Obviously, you're thinking in the second round, I'm going to stop him here. Is it coming to you? Okay, I can do this for 12. I got this covered.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was that even going through your head?
Absolutely, yeah. There's you can get hung up as a fighter thinking, the fight should be over. I should be in the change room now. I should be putting my feet up, and I'm still working hard. But you put that energy in the gym. There's loads of times where you're on the brink and you have to, dig deep, go through it. I was prepared to go 12 rounds with Carl this evening, this night, and I've prepared for it, and I fully intended to do it.
You won that, or you answered at the end of that exchange. Still circling away to the right, so that means Carl was going to struggle to get you with a backhand there because he has to then punch across himself, doesn't it?
Yeah. He throws a weighty left hook, but not like a whippy left hook. It's not like a textbook amazing left hook. And if anything, when he goes that way, he sort of comes out of his legs a bit.
Carl, he's just so tough though, isn't he? He's obviously known for it at this point. He established himself as that. Is that ever going through your head? You're thinking, right, this guy's iron, Or are you thinking I've made a dent?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm I haven't landed anything as heavy as I have in the first round. I'm probably thinking, yep, he's super tough, but nothing we didn't know. Just keep boxing. Just keep boxing your fight. Just keep boxing your fight. Just keep landing the cleaner, crisper shots. Hopefully the eye-catching shots. And then when you come together, don't worry about work. Making a waste of it.
End of five. So we're nearly at the halfway point. He started working the body there. First few little body shots that he'd thrown there. That's true, isn't it?
Carl.
Yeah. Not a massive known body puncher. We're expecting him to do a bit more of that.
I think he did. I think I'd imagine anyone who you think you can tire your guy out, then
water in the basement.
Yeah, water in the basement, and I've got that sharp reflexes with the head, so the body's always going to stay there. There might have been a tactic for him in camp to start downstairs and come up.
He's landing there. What you got in your head at this point? Is that just a towel or an ice thing?
I think it's a cold towel.
Love that. I need one of them now.
I'll get you one of them next time.
Good. And there's that little Carl Froch little hand defence there with the backhand that just takes the heat off enough of them backhands just for him to ride it. So what's his start of 6?
Start of 6.
So 5 down. Now rewatching it, what do you reckon the scores are on the doors at this point? You ain't got a pen and paper out, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, well, you'd probably give him a share of a couple of rounds as the champion. Do you know what I mean? But I think 5 rounds down, if you give him 2, but really I should be 2 points ahead.
You're ahead,
10-8 round.
You can see that the crowd is still on his side at this point. Like, anything he does, the whole place goes up still. But he certainly surprised a lot of people in there at this point and on Sky by this point. Nice little double jab there. Thrown many of them.
Well, I haven't had the success that in this round that I had in the first round. I'm boxing really well, but Carl, to his credit, he hasn't made a bad call. I think a right hand went in there, and he's held on to me. So that's the first time in a while that he's gone to hold. And we're a minute into this 6th round now, and I remember thinking, I think it was them 2 right hands thinking, right, let's put a dent in him now. Put a real dent in him now.
Yeah, because you suggested in the build-up that he was, on the way, not the fighter he was. Did you? Oh, there's another big. Oh, that's 2 there. I think the 3rd one. I mean, there's the dent.
I mean, there's probably 6 or 7 heavy shots going in there, and then one after the other. And he's still trying to punch his way out of a bad situation, and I'm just trying to build it. I'm thinking, I'm chopping the tree. I'm chopping the tree down, and he's got to try and win my respect. And the way he's doing it, he's trying to punch his way out of it, but
putting a lot
just
into
walking
these.
onto right hands. Now I'm going explosive now.
Sensing opportunity.
This is maximal work. You can see that the right hand's dropped here from me, so I'm not trying to telegraph it, but I'm trying to not waste energy either. 2 more right hands go in.
What are you feeling in the pit of your stomach at this point? Are you excited? Are you thinking this is working? Or is it still just same as always?
No, I'm thinking,
that ebb and flow?
I'm thinking, show me something. Show me something. So I drop my hands here because I really want him to come for me. Like, I really want him to come for me, and he does. And so it's 20 seconds left in this round, and I've dropped both hands. I'm really trying to get him to punch me. He had another little cheeky right, Howard. I'll get the blame for it. Never mind.
Keep your head up, George. Stop slipping things, mate. Just the quality round, this one. But again, he didn't land much in that round. Those shots there, the crowd going up, but a lot of them missed. Are you knackered at this point? You put a lot into this round.
Yeah. I feel like, I'll give him a different look. That's what boxing essentially is. Always give him a different look. So there's a sharp jab there. I don't want to.
End of 6.
A little shoulder barge from each of us.
He's blowing now.
And I think, we'll bleep out what Carl says here now. Maybe we can hear it when he goes home. But he's he's in bad way.
Yeah.
And I remember Paddy in the corner saying, right, hands up now. No, I think that's just from his boxing mentality. He says, right, I like what you did at the end of the round, maybe because he hated it but didn't want to tell me that. So don't be reckless, don't give away no free shots. And then now, just give him a different look in this 7th round. Save their legs. You punched him hard, you punched him heavy. I know Froch being a 12-round fighter thinking, right, we're over halfway now, we're going to come and get him. So I don't really need to be tailing off and looking like a 6-round fighter. So
going into 7
now.
Yeah, so you've won the first half of the fight.
Yeah.
Pretty comfy. I don't think anyone could deny that. Carl wouldn't deny that, I'm sure. You've dropped him once. So you're, in terms of scores, you're ahead, pretty comfy. What does that say?
Yeah, so Jim Watt's got me, he's got me every round apart from 5.
Yeah.
So, I'm 5 ahead with the 10 knockdown.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair reflection of what I'm watching, I must say.
Yeah. So this is where Froch tells this fantastic story of it's I'm done and dusted, but I think there's a bit of confusion there. I think Howard did stop. There you go. Look, Froch carries on. When I say timeout, and maybe stop punching him, Froch, but I don't know. So, but give away no free shots. It weren't going to be the same intensity this round than it was in the last because. What I never wanted to do was work hard for the openings, work hard to land the big shots. He's that sort of fighter. He will give them to you. Be patient. I've always been a patient fighter since I turned pro working under Adam Booth. So, but that exchange, maybe I wasn't being patient. Who knows?
Not much coming back from Froch at this point.
No, I think this is a hard round. Yeah. So.
Still trying to get someone to stick with that jab.
Yeah, maybe on reflection, maybe I could have been putting a little bit more pressure on him at this point, but I'm just purely comfortable with boxing him and beating him.
Yeah, win the round.
I'm trying to
a little amateur trick.
A little different look. Hand comes out to the left, but again, I'm trying to tease something so that I fell short with that right hand on the 1-2, but that stance there where I'm leaning to my right leg, loading the right leg, want something to come out, big right hand. To Froch's credit, that shot lands right at the end of the punch. Tip of the whip. You're taught to accelerate through the shot and land it 3 inches behind the head, 4 inches behind the head. That's exactly how it does, and he doesn't make a dent in him. I make a joke that I punch him numb, and it's a phenomenon, a Froch-nomenon. I don't know, I have to marry it up somehow, but
that's a Groves Froch-nomenon.
Froch-nomenon for the Watchalong. But this is a great round for me.
It really is.
In terms of 7th, this is a great round for me comparative to even you think 2nd and 3rd. This is the better round to me, I believe, than
the jabs are not landing.
So, we're both feeling the pace of the fight. There's no urgency from Froch, is it? You wouldn't say Froch is building into this fight.
No.
If anything, is that, and I make him miss, and I'm already in my corner.
Perfect.
So that's the end of 7.
End of 7. So, yeah, and again, that's a George Groves round. So
thanks, Dave.
What are we talking? 6-1 plus a knockdown at this point, potentially.
6-1 plus a knockdown. Maybe you'll give him one more,
one other one somewhere.
And I think that's more so. You wouldn't, and then you go back to your scorecard and go, "Oh, a little bit too one-sided." Maybe give him something.
I'd never do that. Yeah, there were Tony Sims there, young Tony Sims. Look at that jab. Yeah, that's an inch away really from being lights out.
So there again, I lose their legs a touch, but I was that sort of fighter back then where I'd really overcommit for that right hand. When it lands, it's brilliant. So the right leg's tracking a bit, and you have to catch it. If it goes a bit too far, then you drop your head and slide out.
Start of 8 here, George. miles ahead. Everyone, like I said, everyone at this point now, the commentary saying it, whatever happens now, you've proven yourself beyond worthy in terms of a challenger. And people are thinking now there's no way you can lose this fight. Are you even aware of that? Do you even care about a turning title? Are you just so entrenched in this second by second that you're not even thinking that you're not thinking job done, I've ticked boxes?
Well, I'm not thinking, if it all goes Pete Tong here, at least I've proved
people
myself.
like me.
But no, honestly, throughout this fight, I'm thinking, well, I'm showing everyone what I'm all about. I'm showing everyone what I'm all about. So that, that's the sort of thing that Froch, the fighter he is, will probably watch that and go, that was a good bit from me. But it's sort of like bum rush, miss. I throw a check left hook, end up sort of spinning round. He sort of pins me in the corner. It goes a bit WWE. It's a forearm to the throat. Which I'm trying to... if you struggle against it, you can end up like hurting yourself or wasting energy. So you sort of let him do that, but it makes it look much worse than it actually is. But I think if there was ever any question marks over my head, but I had that, and it was... Maybe it was just me, and maybe it's like a bit of ego thing or whatnot, but I always felt like I was slightly underrated. I was always, I was coming through with James DeGale, and always people would talk about how talented James DeGale was, but I was like, mate, let's define talent. He's got like a lovely style to watch at times, like very theatrical, but in terms of talent, I thought I was, super talented. I was one of the best talents, Dec. So this felt like, I'm on the stage now, and I'm really showing it. I've shown a variety of different boxing skills, and I'm beating up this warrior, like this champion, who even at his ripe old age was apparently coming into the best form of his career.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing how dominant you are here, it does make me think, and I don't know if you're thinking this at all in the ring, but you're thinking, he's still there. You're just thinking, what have I got to hit him with? You hit him with everything, both hands, head and body, constantly with the right hand, and he's still there. He's still coming. He looks a bit beleaguered at this point, but he's there.
Yeah, I mean that like that right hand there. I sort of stamped the foot as I land it, and then it's now changed. He's holding on. A cheeky right hand goes in. It lands on the back of the head, which Carl's definitely not happy about. Sort of sprung him into life there, where he punches back. But Dec, honestly, I'm sure all fighters will say the same, but I lived and breathed boxing in its entirety, every second of every day for my entire boxing life, right? And at this point, I'm thinking I'm just going to get stronger. Like, I'm just going to get stronger as these rounds go on. These championship rounds, I'm getting stronger. Like, I think I look a little bit fresher now than I did definitely at the end of the six. I'm making a miss. I'm still sharp. I'm still holding my form. On a freeze frame, you might see that I'm sort of hanging off. The posture might not be immaculate. The shoulders might be a little bit rounded forward. The right hand might be a little bit lower than it was in the first couple of rounds.
End of eight, and I don't know if you agree. That was one of Froch's better rounds there. But what I must say, it was rewatching this. The whole narrative around this fight is that you start really well, but then you start to fade, and then Froch takes you out. He would have knocked you out anyway. But I'm watching it. I've watched 8 rounds. I don't see you falling apart or unravelling at all. There's some success here from Carl, maybe more than he's had in some of the earlier rounds. But this is not you. Oh, you've blown it now. You've got nothing left in the tank.
Yeah,
at all.
So that's where he catches me on the sort of back of here. But I'm actually punching back before then, and Froch is dangerous like this. Like, he will just keep punching. And then the way for me to shut that down was to close the distance, tie him up. But I think maybe I'll go back and score it. Maybe a lot of people think Froch won that quite clear, but I think
I don't know if he won it quite clear. But
maybe you give it to Froch.
I would say that's the best round.
There's nothing in it.
That's his best round so far, I would say, in terms of success that he's had. So start of 9 now, George. What's Howard Foster saying to you at this point?
Howard Foster said, "This is the round." I didn't know what that meant. Right. Poor old Howard. Shout out
Howard. So start of 9. I mean, it's not for me. You're not unravelling here. I mean,
the form's great. The form's great. I'm still there. I'm still pressing. There's nothing really tired about me. He might be thinking 9, 10, 11, 12 championship rounds. I need to put a dent in him. I've got to do something. But I'm thinking the same. I'm thinking I'm building, you know, this 10, 11, 12, I'm giving you hell. And especially 12, you know, I'm giving you hell. To show if it goes to the cards that I've been strong all the way through and that I'm landing shots. And to entertain the fans as well. Like, there was an element of that. You know, I was the man in the arena at this point. More so than ever before. But this is
still very crisp.
You know, I think I'm winning this round pretty well. Look, I'm landing big shots. I mean, I get caught off balance there, but I hit him with 3 shots before then.
Little left hook.
This is usually where the bit starts. Yeah. So it looks, I think, they think I'm in big trouble. I'm holding on. I'm trying to get a grab of him just because he's sort of just being a bit wild and reckless.
Yeah. Headlock one on the break there.
So I get sort of knocked off balance there, catch and fire, get punched into the ropes, but I'm punching back.
I mean, nah, that is fucking hell, man. Like, I know it's bad. We all know it's bad. One of the worst, like, most controversial we've ever seen. But watching it here in the cold light, that is bad, isn't it?
Have you ever seen anything so bad?
That is really bad.
Like, you could barely even
walking past. You could barely even pick a shot there. You're like, I mean, there was a hook that went in. Like, you can see, we'll see it in the replay in a sec. I mean, can you even begin to put into words what you're thinking at this point? Is it just frustration, anger?
I'm sick.
Sick
to my stomach, sick to my core.
Because it's over there. Like, that's it. Like, you can't redo this. I mean, you do in Wembley, but this is done now. And like, is that just dawning on you? It's just like we can't.
You know, maybe just through the training, being like having to make them minute. Like,
what's Eddie saying to you?
Having to make those. Eddie probably said, those split-second reactions. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm sick to my stomach. I think
Barry is saying,
try not to have, you know, I had no time for Barry Hearn at that point, because I think it's all a big conspiracy. I think a big agenda. You know, I'd travelled the world as an amateur, getting robbed when you step through the ring and you've got no chance of winning, and it happens in pro boxing. But I never thought it would happen at this level on this stage, where okay, I'm taking on Eddie Hearn and the Matchroom Empire. I'm taking on Sky Sports because they're tied into Eddie Hearn. They can't have me win. A pay-per-view star going rogue, you know, seriously, like going rogue. I'm taking on Froch, who's now the international superstar. Do you know what I mean? He's the poster boy of boxing. Can't take on, you know, I'd had a dispute with the British Boxing Board of Control about my managerial contract with Adam Booth 3 weeks before then. And you know, they found in his favour, even though I was like, he hasn't followed any of the protocols that he's supposed to as a manager. If anything, he's trying to harm my career. So I just thought, you know, everyone was against me, the world was against me, and I'd assembled a little motley crew. You know, Paddy did an amazing job in preparing me for that fight. You know, wouldn't have been the same without Paddy, certainly. Dan Lawrence, who was my strength coach. You can see my dad there. That's my dad right in the very corner.
Oh yeah.
And
let's just rewatch this stoppage again. So we're looking for clean shots there. There's a little barrage. You got your head down, but not like, I mean, you're both swinging. You landed left hand there.
So that's a good exchange from me. I think I win that exchange, and then you think the stoppage is coming.
Yeah, not sustained punishment, as Jim Watt says there. Misses there, blocks that.
But I'm blocking and firing
that right
back.
Hand gets through there. That's the left hook there. I think there's the left hook there that obviously he makes his decision based on. But that is
very disappointing from Howard, because he's not looking in my eyes. He hasn't sort of given me a chance. There's no, like, he's not saying anything. He's not.
You're just trying to hold there.
And if anything, to stop a fight, it's got to be because the ropes are stopping me from getting severely hurt. You know, I almost go to beg him there. I go on one knee and beg, and I'm like, because I think begging him's a better option than trying to, you know, hit him. But I'm trying to display as much as possible that this is a farce. This is complete nonsense. That,
I mean, It hasn't aged well, has it?
But I mean, even like as he goes in, I'd sort of drop my hands because that is instinctive. When a fighter lays on you, just relax, yeah, because I was taught don't fight back. Now I know it's not a fighter who's grabbed me at that point, but I just drop my arm to relax. I think, just don't waste energy trying to pull yourself back up.
He's in there. He's also like, if Carl really was getting on top here, he's robbed him of a legitimate route back into this fight. Now this fight is always shrouded in controversy, and people will always question it. It's a shame, innit? There's a left hook and a right hand there, but look, you're up, you're trying to hold. It's just mad, isn't it? Are you aware? Like, obviously, the crowd by now are on your side. You're the hero. You've gone from zero to hero, and now people love that, don't they? They love the plucky underdog who's got robbed here. Is it giving you any satisfaction? Are you taking any heart from that? From what the crowd are saying?
Yeah. It's a bit of validation that like they feel the same way I do. But it's I was like, at that point I had to be really clever and cunning, and I was paranoid and had no trust in anyone. I felt the world was against me, and sometimes it's hard to buy in. Sometimes it's hard, Dec, to at this point, yeah, the crowd, it is nice because they sympathise with me. They have, all I've got is the crowd's opinion on side. But I had no trust of anyone. Like as I say, I was paranoid, and I was distraught. Like, yeah.
How does it feel watching it 10 years on? What are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm still sad.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Even what unfolded afterwards.
Well, this is the first time that I've watched it, broke it down, spoke about it like this. Yeah, it hurts. Like, it still hurts. I don't know why I can't entirely let it go.
What are you saying to him at this point? Can you remember?
He said something patronising, which fighters always do. So I must have told him shut up. And then I turned to someone and said, "You're getting this guy, But there's back and forth. The rivalry is genuine, Dec. I think that's the rivalry is genuine. And for me now, it's changed. It's changed overnight. Before then, I was emotionless when it came to Froch. I felt nothing towards him, and he hated me. Like, definitely the hate for me started way before. I'm clapping because I think that's what people will. I don't know why I'm clapping. Paddy's clapping, I'm clapping. I don't know why I'm clapping. I don't know what the fuck I'm clapping for. I get a big cheer. That's sweet. I didn't remember that. Luke Watkins picks me up.
Yeah.
I've got a milk it, lap of honor, and I'm not enjoying that. To be the man in the arena is like, it's the best bit about boxing. You get mega paydays if you're lucky enough. But if you can fill out an arena, like fill out a stadium even, with people who are just buzzing, chanting your name, celebrating in your victory with you, there's it's addictive. Whatever field of play you're talking about, any sport, if you want to be a rock star or a movie star, and you get that adulation from a stranger, it's addictive. But there's no joy in that for me there. It's performance, and I can tell I'm already in work mode from my face because I'm just tolerating whatever Froch is saying. So I'm thinking,
can you remember what he's saying?
Not there,
He's trying to get a point across. Are you saying we need to do it again? You speaking?
Yeah,
like you saying that. Is that already going through your head? Must be.
Yeah, straight away. But also, Dec, like, imagine like you've run a marathon, right? You've run the marathon, you've trained the marathon, and do you know what? You've come a long way to get to that marathon, and then a mile from the end, someone's come and tackled you, right? and stopped you running your PB and even stopped you finishing, and then the first thing you're thinking isn't, that's a bummer. Hope they let me run the marathon again. Do you know what I mean? You're distraught. You're thinking, why? I got to do it all again.
George, remind me again, how I become an elite club member?
Well, get a GGBC cap.
Done. What else?
Well, you could wear the hoodie.
Anything else?
Well, have you got a water bottle?
Anything else?
You could get a print for the wall.
It's cost me a fortune. Anything else?
Well, this is what it takes to be elite, Dec.
Does that mean I'm in the club now?
Nearly. One last thing. Just hit the follow button in your podcast app. Welcome to the club, Dec.
Oh, we'll have a push and a pull, mate. George.
Right, I've been tissues, I've wiped my eyes, I'm okay.
A decade on, it still hurts you.
Yeah. Oh, who'd have known? Yeah. Oh, get over it, kid. No, that was weird. That shocked me. I got a bit tearful. But yeah, mega night. Happy to have been part of it, you know. Crazy 10 years on, Dec. Crazy 10 years on. But yeah, tremendous fight. Great build up, which everyone who was there would remember. And a great fight.
Do you appreciate it as a great fight though, even after what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because whenever you're invested in, you know, me from boxing, if I'm more invested in a fight because I've got a relationship with a fighter or whatever it may be, then you know it's always that much more thrilling and enjoyable. You know, don't get me wrong, loads of that is enjoyable, but you know, obviously the ending is not the aftermath and everything else. But I'm proud. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to have been a part of it. You know, I'm proud to a certain degree of being able to put it to bed and sort of get on with Froch, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because me and Froch, we are pals now. 10 years on, I'm sure we're going to have we've had a lot of engagements together. We're probably going to have even more soon, you know, with the Wembley anniversary coming up, you know, next year. So, yeah, because ultimately there's always been that respect between fighters, and, you know, even though neither of us wanted to show respect for each other, we would have both respected each other on what we brought to the table and what we were and what we were worth. And, you know, it's genuine. It's so genuine. You live and breathe it. And I love that. You know, I love heartache to a certain degree because it just
why you started a podcast.
So much better when you actually, you know, you end up at the opposite end of the scale, you know, of the balance beam or whatever it is. But, yeah, I'm in a unique sort of, not unique, but I'm in a small group of collective people who are ex-fighters, ex-world champions who had these high-profile fights, big fights, and now trying to navigate, to gravitate their way through an existence. And, you know, it's me and Carl. Carl's probably president of it, but there's only a few of us in the club. So, and I appreciate him for that. And, it's lucky now. I suppose it is lucky, really, that we are friends, because that's not always the case. And Howard Foster. So we give him stick, and we gave him stick during that watch along as well. But Howard Foster then went on in later fights to judge one of my fights, and then even referee one of my fights. We had no objections against it. It's always been that awkwardness between us. But I saw him at a weigh-in not that long ago. We had a picture together. So, you know, hopefully that sort of broke the ice a bit with Howard.
Maybe we should get him on.
Love to get him on, but don't ask him about the Froch Groves one fight, because I can't. Oh, no, I'll be too scared of the
response.
Response. Yeah.
Okay, overall, would you say that experience of rewatching that, was it cathartic? Did it exercise demons? Did it help you in any way, or is that just stirred up emotions that you you've buried? On what scale?
I didn't need it, but I hope
the viewers did.
I hope all the viewers enjoyed it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we'll have another watch along at some point. Yeah, that's always going to be my most emotional fight. It trumps Chudinov, or does it? I don't know. When I finally win the belt at the 4th attempt, all the big fights for me had a strong sense of emotion, because the character I am, the way I try and interpret the world and interpret boxing and try and work out the sweet science. But that was that was some journey, yeah. But it's made me who I am today. So whether that's good or bad, I don't know, Dec. But
mixed.
Yeah, mixed.
But okay, so just in closing, so obviously you're in the ring with Carl there, and you're doing the parade, and obviously you're gutted, and Carl surely knows he's got away with one. So do the Hearns, and then you go behind closed doors. Then the curtain's shut, and you have to deal with that and get on with that. Just talk us through what happens that night. You come out and do the press conference. You do an interview with Coogan on IFL, and then what does life look like the next couple of days? Like, can you just try and convey what your emotions are like at that point? Yeah.
So after the fight, I asked my wife Sophie the other day, can you remember the change room? And she says, yeah, every bit about it. And I've got a bad habit of sort of, if I don't like a memory, I banish it away. Pretend it never happened. I'll tell my kids if they fall over and cut their leg, pretend it never happened. But she was like, you was distraught. So I said to her, was I buzzing like from the crowd? And that she went, nah. I said, you was on the floor. You was distraught. He was like, your world had imploded. Like, you was dead and buried. I was like, really? She goes, so what was you like then? She was like, everyone else in the change room was buzzing. Like, it was like you'd won. It was like you was a world champ. They were buzzing. My mum and dad wouldn't have been in there. It was a small team by that point, but everyone was like, this is, everyone thought it was a robbery. You performed so good. It was, and it was not the stuff you don't want to hear, which I hear now 10 years on. Oh, you nearly had him in that first round, and it was, stuff like that. So amazing. I remember the next day, because we got the train home. I think we flew to Manchester, but we were going to get the train home, and I was like worried that I'd booked like specific tickets and we weren't all going to get on the train, and I was like, oh, am I going to have to rebook trains and everything? But it was the first time to this extent that sort of celebrity, but like not like, oh, I loved it, do you know what I mean? But obviously you appreciate it. We got to the station and it's like we had police escort to get us to our platform, and then I'm trying to explain to the ticket guy that I think some of these tickets were on the 9:30, but we're and some are on the 10:30. I've just gone, in you get gone. And then we're just sitting on the train home back to London and doing that thing, like reminiscing, like after a wild weekend away with the boys. Do you know what I mean? Just talking, what about this? What about that? Loads of what we used to call in the McGuigan gym, shit chat. And then stuff was popping up, oh, look what Howard Foster has said on 2 weeks before on his Facebook post, and look at this, look at that, because it was kicking off. Do you know what I mean? And there is that comfort.
That Sunday was big. We're big for that.
Tweet. I live in London, so I'm not sure where I knew I had to publicise myself. So whether I was straight down the Sky Sports studios or whether I was trying to get into TalkSport, BBC, ITV, even anyone who was sort of, I had to keep the momentum going. But yeah, probably better Sunday morning than I was Saturday night in terms of I was off suicide watch. But
yeah, okay. Well, that's the end of the Groves Frochalong.
Yeah,
but that's not the only thing we're doing to mark this very significant 10-year anniversary, is it?
I'm not coming out of retirement, Dec. How many times I've got to tell you?
No, don't worry. We got Carl Froch, of course. We've had him in the club, and he spoke at length about this fight and about the whole rivalry, to be honest. But we're gonna have a little relook at that, revisit the Carl Froch stuff. So that'll be on YouTube.
Very good.
And the audio of that as well. So if you haven't listened or watched either of them, go and have a bit, fill your boots.
Yeah.
And then next week we're back to business.
Yeah, back to business.
Well, unless this has got the juices flowing for a comeback, and then you're gonna phone and be like, Dec, sorry mate, I'm in the gym. I'm not finished yet.
We'll be doing a GGBC app from my own press conference to announce,
That'll do good numbers.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, maybe we should think about that. Maybe we should think about it.
No, you got to leak it. I'll get in the gym. I'll lose like 4 stone, and then
imagine you leaked it to someone other than me. You leaked it to a different journalist, Dec Warrington, the other Dec.
Yeah, the annoying. Wrong Dec.
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
Or the right Dec.
Yeah, but if you want to get in touch about any of that, GG Boxing Club on the socials.
GG. Yeah, let us know how you got on with this.
Yeah.
And if you're watching it here now, watching it, that means YouTube. Leave a comment. We really want to read your comments.
If you disagree as well with how we just sort of reflected on that,
don't leave a comment.
Nah, fuck off. And you go, Carl Froch should be going, well, he probably had himself 5-3 up at the time of stoppage or something like that, but
I might publish the scorecards, which might surprise a lot of people at the time of stoppage.
Exclusive. Do that on the socials. Want to buy merch? Buy the merch. Where can they buy the merch?
On the Linktree, which is essentially, I don't know, our website, but we don't have a website anymore. It's all Linktree. So any social, go on the tree of links, get some merch. If you buy a lot of stuff this week, GGBC listeners, we'll put something together. 10-year anniversary, something or other for Christmas. How about that, eh?
How about that?
Listen to us. If you're listening right now, then listen to Amazon Music free.
Ad free. Yeah. And if you're listening on the other stuff, hit follow button. Until then, back next week, George. Slightly less harrowing experience, I hope. Well, we don't know yet.
We don't know who the guest is yet.
We live in hope.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
See you, Dec.